Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, April 16th. From the San Antonio Express News, my name is Luis Vasquez, and this is your Express Briefing. All of the stories you need to know to start your day. You can expect showers and a high of 83 degrees in San Antonio today. This weekend, rain chances drop, but so do temperatures. The Biden administration announced Thursday the U.S. is expelling 10 Russian diplomats and imposing sanctions against dozens of companies and other people, holding the Kremlin accountable for interferences in last year's presidential election and the hacking of federal agencies. In the midst of a pandemic season, perhaps hazardous to NBA players' health, rest days might finally be in the offing for some prominent Spurs. San Antonio hosts Portland tonight, then visits Phoenix on Saturday. Sign up for our Spurs Nation newsletter to get the info you need after every game. And now let's move on to our top stories for the day. For many of the palm trees around town, the verdict on whether they survived February's Arctic storm is in. Sort of. Generally, native palms survived and have already begun sending out new fronds. Some non-natives have also begun showing signs of life, although non-native species were the most vulnerable to the freeze, and there's still plenty that look, and may be, dead. For those palms that did survive, it'll be weeks, even months before they leaf out fully and look as magnificent as they did before the freeze. Richard Marini has the latest update on what you need to know about the storm's effect on your garden over at expressnews.com. The San Antonio City Council gave the final approval necessary to get the $450 million overhaul of Alamo Plaza back on track Thursday, securing an amended lease with the state for managing part of the city-owned site. The 10-1 vote enables work to continue on the third iteration of the Alamo Plaza renovation plan, which has been in development for 7 years and comes 6 weeks after Mayor Ron Nirenberg announced a reset of the controversial public-private undertaking. In more immediate Alamo news, a temporary exhibit replicating a major focal point of the 1836 Alamo Fort will be unveiled to the public today in Alamo Plaza, signaling the possibility of future period representations to commemorate the historic mission and battle site. Ryan and Brandy Morkvoski never expected to be worrying about their daughter's blood type. In January, their 2-year-old daughter Amy was diagnosed with early-stage acute lymphoblastic leukemia after a mysterious rash appeared on her arms and legs. Over 11 days at Methodist Children's Hospital, Amy began chemotherapy and underwent spinal taps and bone marrow biopsies. On top of the stress of having a sick child during a pandemic, Amy's parents learned of an unforeseen complication that could disrupt her care: ongoing blood shortages. Already, now 3 years old, Amy has needed a handful of transfusions. She is O negative, so she can receive blood from only like donors who make up 7% of the population. Lauren Karuba explores the historic blood shortage triggered by the COVID-19 pandemic and what it means for patients like little Amy. Thunder only happens when it's raining, players only love you when they're playing, and San Antonio City Council members never endorse you when you're running against one of their colleagues, writes Gilbert Garcia. These are basic laws of the universe, immutable and undeniable. At least I thought so up until a few days ago. Read Garcia's latest column for a look at why District 1 Councilman Robert Trevino has thrown his support behind Jalen McKee Rodriguez, a gay black high school math teacher and a phenom in the District 2 race. Head over to expressnews.com to check out the 15 best burgers in San Antonio. Our local burger scene has outgrown a mere top 10 list, so we have the top 15 over on our website. Next up are your need-to-know headlines. You can find all of these headlines and more inside of your Express News subscription. A man who was firing a weapon indiscriminately outside a terminal at San Antonio International Airport was shot and killed by a police officer Thursday afternoon. The officer's actions averted a mass shooting, Police Chief Willing McManus said. Texans would be able to carry handguns in public places without a license under a bill that was approved by the State House of Representatives on Thursday. House Bill 1927, which has broad support from Texas Republicans, is slated for a floor vote today. The city council postponed an ordinance Thursday that prohibits some landlords and property owners from turning away renters who have housing vouchers. City council could vote on that item later this month. Local officials reported relatively few new coronavirus cases Thursday, but added 4 new deaths to Bexar County's total. Officials said Thursday's 76 new cases is an artificially low number because of a reporting error. Former Spurs center and 7-time All-Star LaMarcus Aldridge stunned the NBA on Thursday morning by announcing his retirement at age 35. Mike Finger's latest column is all about the misunderstood big man who has a special perspective. Houston Astros star Alex Bregman is suing San Antonio's La Cantera Resort and Spa for the return of a nearly $80,000 wedding deposit that it allegedly refuses to return. Preparing Texas's power plants and natural gas systems to withstand another winter blast could cost hundreds of millions of dollars, but an analysis by the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas found the expense would be worth it. If you're hunting for a house in the San Antonio area, this market is probably giving you a headache. Sales and prices rose by double digits in March, and inventory reached a record low, according to the latest data from the San Antonio Board of Realtors. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick excoriated Democrats and many in the media for spreading lies about Senate Bill 7, a measure that would restrict voting access in the state. We have a fact check on Patrick's claim that nothing has changed with early voting over on our website. Volunteers from across San Antonio are taking part in the city's Adopt a Spot program that helps clean and beautify areas citywide. You can read about the program over at expressnews.com. Also at expressnews.com, check out our Express News Voters Guide. It's packed with information about candidates and ballot measures. Our editorial board is also making recommendations. Check out what they said about the races for City Council, District 1, District 2, and District 3 on the guide now. Companies' rapid shift to remote work during the pandemic has raised questions about the value of office space. As vaccination rates increase, executives are deciding if, when, and how to bring employees back to offices that have been dark for more than a year. Some plan to adopt a hybrid model, allowing workers to split their time between coming in and working from home. We talked to spokespeople from San Antonio's biggest companies about their timelines for returning to the office and what factors go into the decision. Jim Keist and Deborah Martin have your guide to the weekend, which includes Randy Rogers Band, a home and garden show, and Dwight Yoakam. Cult classic Piranha is a great Texas-made horror movie about Ocarina Springs in San Marcos. Take a closer look at the film and its making over on our website. It's not hard to train a dog not to jump on people, but you will need patience and a lot of treats. Kathy Rosenthal explains more in her latest article. The Dallas Wings selected Texas's Charlie Collier number 1 overall in Thursday's WNBA draft. She's the first number 1 overall draft pro pick from either the Texas women's or men's basketball program. Spurs icon Tim Duncan will be presented for his Hall of Fame induction by his former teammate and Hall of Famer David Robinson. And that's all for today. This was your Express briefing for Friday, April 16th. My name is Luis Vasquez. Please consider becoming an Express News subscriber to get in-depth coverage on all the stories you heard today. Also, be sure to rate and review this podcast inside of your Apple Podcast app, as it really helps the show. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone.